We are drowning in a sea of subscriptions: Netflix, Disney, rent, groceries, internet, and most of us have hit peak fatigue. And the industry knows you're exhausted. These companies have jacked up the cost of physical games to completely unsustainable levels. They manufactured this crisis on purpose. When you have AAA games releasing for $70 like Saros or Forza, combined with deluxe editions and now even Battle Pass pre-orders,
what the hell is even that?
Suddenly a $15 a month subscription looks pretty fucking appealing. And to some people, this is a necessity just to keep up. But it feels like more than just corporate greed. It's funneling consumers into a single option: consistent monthly payments where you own absolutely nothing. As an example, let's just have a look at what happened with Xbox when they tried to force this onto their customers. Late last year, Microsoft aggressively jacked up the price of Game Pass by 50%, and it absolutely blew up in their face.
Well, get what you fucking deserve!
They got hit with massive community backlash, and it has done serious damage to their already struggling brand.
The amount of people that are trying to cancel their Game Pass subscription is so much that it is crashing the website.
Why? Because you can't charge premium monopoly prices when the value of your ecosystem is already down the shitter. It's just not worth it in any sense. When you combine squeezing your player base for more money while simultaneously whoring out all your own exclusives to every other console in town, all while failing to build a library that actually justifies a $30 a month price tag, people start questioning, what the fuck are they even paying for? What's even crazier is the brass on Sony. They've watched this happen. They saw the backlash, and instead of backing down, they just fucking sent it. Why would you even try that? Well, I think it's because Sony actually has total market dominance, at least in the console space anyway, controlling roughly 45 to 57% of the global market. They are the biggest kid in the console playground, and right now they are punching down on people they know don't have any other choice, because they only gave you two options: buy our expensive games or subscribe to our pass. And here in Australia, we've had games releasing for $120 to $125, which would be like $90 US if you can imagine how insane that is. No game is worth that much. Once again, Sony has jacked up the price of PlayStation Plus, blaming ongoing market conditions. They are raising the prices on the very subscription they're pushing you into. I've used the boiling the frog analogy before, but in this case it's like, you can hop in the water while we turn it up, or you can jump in the frying pan. Either way, you're getting cooked. And it feels even more dirty when you actually look at the market conditions they're harping on about. Sony is not hurting for cash. They are doing this because they can. They are monetizing aggressively from a position of absolute strength. And the craziest part? The actual reality of their financials completely contradicts the narrative that they're selling you. For example, let's just have a look at their latest fiscal year reports. Sony's gaming division just hit record levels of revenue, enough to make my eyes water.
Holy fucking shit.
Their operating profit is climbing significantly, and their monthly active PlayStation users have hit an all-time high of 125 million accounts. And that's active monthly players, not accounts in general. But here's the catch: that massive profit isn't coming from selling you consoles. Hardware sales are actually dropping, which I think should be expected when consoles are reaching the end of their run. Everybody who probably wanted a PlayStation already has one. They are making this record-breaking money off digital sales, subscription fees, and network services, all while taking a 30% cut of third-party software. They are squeezing more money from absolutely everyone. So, if they are making all this record-breaking cash from our subscriptions, what are we actually getting for it? Their live service games have been a disastrous failure at best, and their single-player games have never been more polarizing. PlayStation's network security and stability are still massive points of failure. We are paying an ever-increasing premium subscription for a network that exposed 70 million users to ransomware last year and is currently handing over accounts to anybody with a public PSN ID and an old order number. Basically, that's all you need for someone to change your email address and lock you out of your account, just an old purchase receipt. The infrastructure is fundamentally broken, and despite these astronomical profits, they still have time to lay off 8% of their workforce. Once they use aggressive pricing to push you away from physical media and into their digital ecosystem, they lock that door. You are now playing on their terms, and the rules are completely rigged against you. Let's look at the return policy, which in my opinion is the most basic consumer right, which here in Australia means you are legally entitled to a repair, a replacement, or a refund if the product is faulty or unsafe, or even if it doesn't match the description. On the PlayStation storefront, as soon as you download it, there is none. It's gone.
What?
It's gone. It's all gone.
The second you hit download, your purchase is locked in. If a game launch is broken or unoptimized, or simply it just wasn't what was advertised, tough shit. There have been some examples around this like Cyberpunk, but there aren't many. You just gambled $70 and lost, and Sony gets to keep your money. Compare that to Steam. If you're going to give up your physical media and play purely digital, you might as well use a platform that actually respects you as a customer. Steam gives you that sweet, seamless, automated refund. If a game is broken, you get your money back. It's cool, bro. Don't worry about it. We got you.
Oh yeah, we can take that back. Wait, what? Here. Okay. Take this. Your next purchase is on us. Did you want to fight? Yes, please.
It is actual consumer protection, and it feels like they respect your dollar. All while Sony and Microsoft refuse to offer this because their entire business model relies on you not having a choice. And it gets worse. I know this topic has been talked a lot about recently, but I genuinely think it's important. When you buy a digital game on console, you don't actually own it. You're buying a revocable license that these companies can take away at any time. Games are being delisted constantly. Server closures, expired music license, or even internal restructuring can wipe a game straight off the map. And I think not enough people are actually upset about this as they should be. Imagine you bought a new aircon and after 3 years somebody decides, actually, you can't use that anymore, enjoy your sweaty nuts, thanks for the cash, come buy a new aircon from me. Nobody's going to do that. If it was going to be like this, I would have just preferred to stay in the days of Blockbuster, at least it would have been cheaper. Instead, you get to pretend you own something and possibly pay a $70 rental price. We were herded into the digital ecosystem under the guise of convenience, but really it just gave them absolute control over your library. And the people who do defend this have way too much trust in companies. For the last decade, we were sold a lie. We were told the digital future was all about convenience. No more scratch discs, no more trips to the store, just instant access to whatever you wanted.
Bullshit.
But the digital future was never built for player convenience, it was just a Trojan horse built from the ground up to be a leech for financial extraction and ultimate compliance. They want you on a subscription because they want you on a leash. When you buy a physical disc, your transaction with that corporation is over. You own it and they absolutely hate that. But when you subscribe, you give up all that leverage and become a trapped revenue stream. You agree to pay a monthly subscription fee for the privilege of being locked inside an ecosystem where Sony holds all the keys. And if you think these prices will stop going up, you haven't been paying attention. Look at the way live services have evolved over the years. Companies will take and take until either people stop buying or the government steps in. Let me try to explain where this is heading. AI-driven dynamic pricing. Right now, your Venom twerk emote might cost $5 for everyone. The next step is dynamic AI-managed pricing designed specifically for each individual player. The industry is already experimenting with back-end tools that track your spending habits, your playtime, and your cancellation risk. In the future, the storefront will adjust the price of an item based on what the algorithm calculates you specifically are willing to pay. If the data shows that you're a big fucking fat whale, that bouncing booty might cost you $15, but if you're a holdout, it might offer it to you for $3 just to pop your spending cherry. Hardware subscriptions. We're heading towards a future where the hardware itself is heavily subsidized, or it might even be free up front, but it acts like a locked cell phone contract. I'm pretty sure Xbox is even still doing this now through companies like Telstra. And it might even get to the point where you won't be able to log in or play anything, not even free-to-play games, without an active subscription. Extreme early access. We've already seen early access editions where paying $100 lets you play 3 days early. This has become an almost standard practice. They will push this until the standard $70 release feels like the budget tier, and you can fully expect to see premium tiers that grant weeks of early access, maybe even cut narrative content, or even prioritize server queues for multiplayer games. And then companies will just artificially inflate the server queue times to get you to pay more. Ads into games. Mobile monetization strategies have always bled into console and PC. Eventually this will happen. While free-to-play games already rely on ads, publishers are currently exploring how to force advertising into full-priced games. And it won't just be a billboard in the background of a racing game or a loading screen. Sure, it might start there, but it will eventually be things like value exchange mechanics. Imagine dying in a single-player game and being offered a free res if you watch a 15-second unskippable ad for fucking Raid Shadow Legends. Or even being locked out of a fast travel mechanic, unless you have a premium subscription tier. The industry will push these boundaries as hard as people will allow, and the only thing that will stop them is extreme consumer rejections. Kinda like the massive loss Sony just swallowed on Bungie. Or, as I said before, government intervention. If digital ownership continues to erode, legislation like the current Stop Killing Video Games initiative won't just be a petition, it will become a necessary legal standard to stop corporations from entirely fucking you and rewriting the consumer rights, because they can and will do it if you allow it.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
So the next time you see a company or publisher complain that $70 just isn't enough to fund their games, or you see a console maker deliberately make it harder to use a disk drive, remember what they really want. It's not about trying to save the industry, they're trying to ensure, slowly, piece by piece, that you own nothing and you pay them every single month for the privilege.